What's going on, guys? Welcome in, welcome in. All right. Perry says I'm late. Yeah, I'm 1 minute late. I apologize. Cool guys. Let me know if you can hear me. Spam me just with ones. Ones if you can hear me. Okay, and then twos if you can't hear me. That way I know audio's working and we're all ready to roll. If the audio is too loud, let me know. If the audio is too quiet, also let me know. But ones if you hear me, twos if you don't. Um, that we can get going here. So we can see up front here, besides my silly glasses that I'm wearing, we have the Alibaba supplier checklist that I'm going to go through for you guys here today. And we're going to go through all that, as well as if I switch over here to, let's see here, we have some questions as well that we're going to go over too as well. Let me see if I can get that chat off here. Sorry, whoever that is. Didn't mean to blast you all over the internet like that. But these are the questions we're going to go through here. And I don't know how to pause that when I'm filming. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know too. That way I'm not blasting people's names around. But everybody's mostly in the group here too, so we can see their names. But these are the questions we have to go over today for today's live as well. And again, if you want access to the to have priority questions, make sure you get over to our Facebook group. The first description or the description below will have the link to apply for that, as well as the guide here that we're going to go over here. The guide we're going to go over as well will be, you can get your copy inside the Facebook group too. That's the only way you can get it. So make sure you get in the Facebook group. If you just want to hang tight, I'm going to go over it for you and then you can see what you're going to get there. But I'm going to go over kind of the main points and then the rest, you guys, if you want that, you guys can go grab the guide in the group for yourselves, or just, to have to re-go over everything like that, right? Because there's a lot to Alibaba, there's lots of suppliers. So I'm not gonna be able to get through everything here today in this video, but I'm gonna get through a lot and it's gonna be very beneficial for most of you here. Let me check to see if everybody can hear me okay. All right, let's see here. All right, sounds like people can hear me. That's fantastic. Let's get going then, guys. Let's start going into the Alibaba supplier checklist here. So probably a lot of you are at least curious about this subject, right? Maybe you're in the product research phase and this is your next step. Maybe you're on the step altogether, but it's very, very important. I'll tell some reasons why here to understand how Alibaba works, because like, just not to scare you guys, but you can get scammed if you don't know what you're looking for. You can get terrible products. You can work with terrible manufacturers. You can work with manufacturers who aren't even manufacturers that pose as manufacturers, and you get like, you essentially just work with middlemen, so your prices are a lot higher and quality usually suffers as well. So it's important to know how this game works so you can essentially get better products than everybody else when it comes to price. That'll improve your margins, and then obviously 5-star quality reviews, and then obviously having a product you can maybe customize, and having, it's so important to have a manufacturer you can actually talk to and enjoy talking to and can work with, because there's so many manufacturers, it's really hard to communicate with them, especially here in Alibaba, because most of them first language is Chinese. And if you're speaking English or a different language, it can be a little hard to communicate. So it's important to see these factors in. So you can see here, there's going to be a ton of information here, but I'm going to go over the highlights here. So kind of just a quick story to go over in my journey. So when I first started in Amazon back in 2017, we started on Alibaba. We tried to sell fidget spinners. So if you don't know what that is, it's a little gadget you hold and you fidget around just to focus better. I thought they were pretty cool coming from me, because sometimes I have some scatterbrain for sure. This was a massive fad on Amazon. Like you could see on the Google Trends line that it goes straight up and straight down here. Well, we hit the trend probably at the end of it, but we still had some potential from where we were at. Well, we didn't know what we we're doing with our first product, right? So we were on Alibaba the first time. We picked the first manufacturer we found to get us fidget spinners, and the quality was absolutely terrible. So when we started selling fidget spinners, we were selling 9, 10 a day. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing works. Like, holy cow, we made it. We're going to be rich. We're going to be on a beach soon, all that good stuff right there. What happened though, after about a week of selling like that, we started getting 1, 2-star reviews, just horrendous reviews on Amazon. So the biggest thing with them, it was actually a trading company, which we'll go over what this is. So not a manufacturer, but it's a trading company. And they just started, because fidget spinners were a huge fad. They're just trying to make some money. And so they just put together tables with people, got the supplies and hand put them together, and they didn't know what they're doing. And so essentially they were just giant middlemen that were just winging it essentially with our products. Okay. The spin time was terrible. Yeah, that was a big thing. They actually had reviews of people timing the spin time. If they set it down, how long it would spin without them touching it again. And our spin time was like way below average. Pieces were falling out. The logos were printed terribly on it. No surprise, all those product issues led to terrible reviews. We were at 2.5 stars, which absolutely terrible, killed any momentum we had. And, we went from 10 a day to 0. This was all because we picked bad manufacturers, a bad manufacturer in that case, and didn't know what we were doing. We had no idea we were winging it ourselves. And we picked another manufacturer or trading company that was winging it as well. So the biggest thing I tell my clients all the time here is you can find the best product in the world during product research, but that means nothing if you find the wrong supplier, right? So you can have the best product idea in the world, but if you get 1-star reviews, your margins out there, your product and your business aren't going to work, okay? So let's avoid these costly mistakes, and let's go over this checklist to make sure you guys pick the right supplier, okay? So again, you guys can get your copy inside the Facebook group. I advise that after this live here, this video, that you go get one, and in the description below, click the Facebook group link and you can go get one for yourself. So going over here, we can see there's some pop-ups here, and I'll zoom in to make sure you guys can see if I'm talking about any visuals here. So we try to make the visuals on here as best we can. So biggest thing here is search manufacturers, not products. Okay. So when you go to Alibaba, the first thing you see in the search bar is you have a products tab and a manufacturers tab. Always select the manufacturers tab. Okay. What happens when we say we pick products here is we say we type in fidget spinners for this case, right? We're going to see thousands of fidget spinner products. The issue with that is they're all going to be duplicate manufacturers, if that makes sense. So one manufacturer can have 300 fidget spinner lists or product listings there. So we're going to see the repeat manufacturers. Okay. In a world where I want to vet manufacturers, I don't want repeat people I'm reaching out to. I want different manufacturers, right? I don't care if they have different product listings. I just want to see if they create similar products and then reach out to that unique manufacturer. So when we search by manufacturers here, we don't get repeat manufacturers in our listings. We can go through 15, 20 easily without getting a repeat one, okay? So it's always make sure you search by manufacturers and not products there. Going down to step number 2 here, check trade assurance and verified suppliers, okay? So on the left side hand, once you get in here, you can, first on the tabs here, you see all suppliers ready to ship, all this good stuff. Hit verified manufacturers. This means they're verified within Alibaba. That means they've gone through the steps to make sure that they're doing all the right things for Alibaba to properly vet them. It doesn't mean they're slam dunk just because Alibaba vets them. This is just one factor. If they're not taking the work to get verified on Alibaba, they're not going to take the work on our product, right? So I want to see at least they're doing this, as well as we want to check this box to the left here called trade assurance, right? So if we zoom in even further here, we see trade assurance right over here. So this means they're verified through Alibaba as well for their I wouldn't say rebate, but like a refund policy. So if something goes wrong, at least you have a little protection from a trade assurance that you could file a claim with Alibaba and get your money back potentially. This isn't perfect either, but it's another wave of protection we could do for ourselves here, right? And we go through much more detail in here that you can read through on your own here. Step 3, check years on Alibaba, okay? So years are important. So we see here, again, I'm going to zoom in one more time. Just want to double check that everybody can hear me. Okay, still. Yes, so everybody can hear me perfectly. Great. And then we can see right here, 8 years they've been on Alibaba. I want at least 2 to 3 years plus of experience on Alibaba. This means just think about it from the other perspective, right? If you're a scamming manufacturer or trading company, you're not going to be on Alibaba very long, right? You're going to get kicked off. You're going to scam some people, then disappear, then make a new company, scam some people, disappear. But if they've been on Alibaba for 3 years plus, they're most likely not scamming people, right? And also they know how to work with Amazon sellers. If that's the case, they know how to work with Americans. They know how to work with a lot of people because they've been doing it for so long through the Alibaba platform there, okay? So zooming back out a little bit, we go back down to step number 4 here. So step number 4, we'll want to check their main products on Alibaba, okay? So this is important here. I'll leave you hanging while I take a sip of water because my mouth is getting a little dry here. refreshing. Hopefully you guys didn't hear me like gurgle and bubbly in the mouth there, because that'd be gross. But uh, continuing on here. So we want to check the main products of this manufacturer. Okay. So we actually can see here, if I scroll up, that usually on their profile page, they have this little tab called main products. Okay. So we can see what they're mainly manufacturing right here, as well as we can see their main products and their listing as well. Okay, this is important because we don't want someone who, say we have, for this example, we have a bamboo tray table, right? A bamboo tray table we want to sell on Amazon. Well, we don't want someone who manufactures some bamboo tray tables and then also kitchen goods, couches, mattresses, food products, things like that. We don't want them to be all over the place. We want them to mainly be specific for our type of product, because they're going to be the best at it, right? If 90% of the products they manufacture are our types of products, they're going to have the best pricing for raw materials for their products. They're going to be doing this for so long that the ins and outs of them doing this, they're better than everybody else, right? Or someone who just manufactures 10% of their goods like this, they probably haven't taken the time to really be the expert of their craft for that type of product, okay? Excuse me. Going down here, zooming back out. And we can all see this on the company profile, which you can go through here. Step number 5, pay attention to company names. So this is a little hack here that I figured out over the years. So there are 3 factors to look for in a company's name. So these things actually mean a lot here. So usually you get the location of the company, okay? So I believe in this case it's Zhengzhou, but I'd have to double check because I'm not up to date on my Chinese cities. Or where their locations are, the type of products that manufacturer specializes in, so bamboo and wood products, we see that right here, and then clues about whether the company is a trading company or an actual manufacturer in the name. So if we see Trading Co. in the name, we probably just assume they're a trading company. And this is important, just to go a little segue here. It's important to have a trading company, it's important to avoid trading companies and go to manufacturers, because again, trading companies will just contact other manufacturers and be the middleman for your goods. And this is not good because they're not going to oversee quality. You can't talk to the real people making it, and they're going to upcharge you because they need to make a little bit of money on the side to make their quota, right? But if we actually go to a real manufacturer, we're going straight to the source without a middleman, right? So there's going to be less fees. We have more control over the product process, and so do they. And so this is what we look for when it comes to names, as well as there's some other tricks to look for if they're a trading company or manufacturer, which I'll talk about here in a bit. Okay. So in this example, Zhengzhou, so I was correct here. Zhengzhou is located in the Jiangsu province, which is ideal location since it's the coastal province. Okay. So that just gave it away right there of why it's so important, is because if we know where their location is and they're on the coast here, we know that it's going to be less, say they're over here in the Xinjiang province. Well, that's just like America. China's a big, big country. It's like them going from New York to LA just to ship your product, okay? So your shipping costs are going to be much higher if they're over here and they got to ship it all the way over here, right? Luckily, most Chinese manufacturers are on the coast, with some being in, I work with a lot in Hubei here as well, and Guangzhou I've been familiar with as well. But if we're close to the coast, your shipping costs will go down, okay? Now, it doesn't mean you can't work with some people here in the middle. Just understand that, if we have more coastals here, we're going to have, cheaper products to get shipped over, okay? Going further into the name process, we know, so they just said they're in the bamboo business essentially by their name here. So we can see most of their main products are in bamboo. So that's good for us, right? So this is an example of a potential trading company name here. So we see Enterprise Corp. So this could potentially be a clue that this is a trading company. So just give you an example of what you're kind of looking for there. So some more clues about manufacturers. The word enterprise is very general and vague. So just vague terms overall. So trading, enterprise, all that good stuff could mean that they're trying to be vague on purpose because they're not actually a manufacturer. You can also open up a company's profile and see what the photos are showing, okay? So they all have photos on their Alibaba profiles. If they're showing photos of their in-house manufacturing, that's a good sign that they're a manufacturer, right? Now, it doesn't mean too, just because people get hung up on this, doesn't mean we can't work with a manufacturer and a trading company, right? Because they could be two. They could have a trading company in office as well be their own manufacturer. That's actually good in some circumstances because they know how to work with you better. They have reps that are just trained to work with you. So in this case, it could be good. We just don't want a trading company on its own. Okay, so they have photos of their manufacturer here. This is a good sign. Okay. Going down here, this talks about more just kind of what I just talked about, middleman cost, everything like that. So final factors to consider. So where the manufacturer is based, total revenue as well. So we haven't talked about this one. So we can actually see on Alibaba their total revenue. If I zoom in again here, scroll up. Total revenue that the company has done through Alibaba. Okay, so this is verified through Alibaba. This isn't like a thing that it's required, but it's a good sign, right? Because they've done a lot of business through Alibaba. That meaning that they're going to probably do good business with you as well. If they keep doing this amount of revenue, it's most likely because they're doing something right. Now, if they have zero or lower amounts, that's not a terrible thing. Doesn't mean they're not manufacturing and providing goods for off Alibaba. So it could mean they still have experience, but it's good to see this, right? Just another pro we're looking for. Okay. Another thing we could look for is main markets. Okay. So in the profile, again, we can see their main markets here, who they sell to. Okay. So what we're looking for when it comes to this is just, again, just a quick sip of water here. There we go. And what we're looking for this is mostly being North America and Europe. Okay. So this is good because North Americans, Canada, US, and Europe, UK, Spain, France, Germany, places like this, we have a higher standard, especially in the US, of quality products. Like we don't take no crap. We return everything if the standard's not there. In other countries, South America, China, for instance, Africa, the standard of quality is much less. Like they require, like they just want cheaper goods and they don't care about the quality. They really don't think about that too much. Where in America, we are very picky about our quality. Okay. So if they're selling to North American and Western Europe markets, this is a good sign, meaning they've worked with people in this market before and they understand the quality we're going to require from them. So if we see all South America and Africa here, it's probably not a good sign. It's probably a sign that their quality could be kind of suspect. Okay. So zooming back out here, going down, and then again, looking through the transaction history and average response time. Okay, so we could see on the performance score here, which we can all see on the profile, we could see less than 4 hours to respond to us as well. Excuse me. Delivery rate was 100%. We covered this up because we suck at our jobs. Just kidding. But anyways, US 130 plus, 62 orders here in the last 6 months for transaction history. So we want to see they're active in the last 6 months. They haven't gone dormant. They're being active on Alibaba. This is a good sign for us. Okay. Going down here, we can even go deeper into the transaction history on their profile. If we go to their profile, it looks a lot like this. Actually, it looks exactly like this. It's a little different on some because they can customize this a little bit. So you just have to dig around a bit. But if we go to business performance transaction history, we can see where they're doing their business. We see US, Italy, Canada, Australia, Japan, and Mexico. This is a really good sign right here. And we see the amounts of transactions right here. We see the last 4 shipping destinations were in the US there. Okay. And this is the summary checklist where you could take this and make sure you're checking everything off here to make sure that you are finding everything here. So cool, guys. That is it. Obviously, this is something I talk to a lot with my clients about. This is a big part of our process. Not only do we check products for clients, but we go through this process with them to make sure they're not picking a bad manufacturer. Because again, it doesn't matter how good your product research is if you can't find a good supplier for quality and margins, okay? Because we need to make money in this business. Okay, so if you're interested in AWA, there'll be a link down here. So that's Amazon Wealth Accelerator, my mentorship program, where we work with these clients. You can hop on a call with us and see if it's a good fit. We'll be honest with you. If say we can't help you, we'll let you know and give you some better options. If not, we can give you some strategies of how to do it and see if the program is a good fit for you for both sides, of course, because we want everybody in here that that fits, right? So we can get results for people. Okay. So again, you can get this full guide, which is just chock full of information. I didn't even go over here and go deeper in here. You can get this in the Facebook group, which the link is in the description for. And then now let's go over to Q&A questions here. So let me move this over. Go back to Bedrock here, showing some more names. Fantastic. Love that. Thanks, Zuckerberg, for just showing off people's stuff. Was that helpful, guys? Give me a 1 in the comments if that was helpful for you. If you guys enjoyed that. Let me just double check that everything's working okay with these lives. Can be a little finicky. Awesome, guys. Cool. All right. So let's go over questions here again. And once you're in the Facebook group, you'll be able to ask questions in the same format whenever you want for every week. So we see here, Oscar. Hi, Cameron. Can I fill out a USPTO form for my trademark by myself if I'm not a citizen? Heard that's part where you need a lawyer that represents you. Yes, you'll need a lawyer if you're outside the US to file for you. Definitely look into that. There's tons of websites on Google that can help you with this. Okay. Next, we have Seth here, which again, going to take another sip. I'm usually a quiet, reserved guy that sits in my office all day. I don't do a lot of talking, so I suffer from the dry mouth a little bit here. So we got Seth here. Question, all caps, exclamation point, so it must be important. So I'm looking for the best way to get high quality images for my Amazon listing. Any help and feedback would be amazing. Thanks. So we have some people we work with. Let's see, Dripped Photography is one. Another one that I'm exploring myself, which I'm going through the process myself, is Sunu.co here. I'm using them currently. I haven't got the results back, but I've heard great things about Sunu as well. As well as you can find local people. You can go on Fiverr. They're going to be a little lower quality. Upwork, you can find some high quality people there. Something like this. Quality changes so much in the industry that you're going to have to do your own research and go through some options yourself too. It depends on your budget too. Excuse me there. Emily, hey guys, what does it mean when you get this while trying to request approval to add a product? Unsupported action. Sorry, you took an action that can't support. Please go back to the home page to take different action. It could be an error. I would just try to start from the beginning again and go from there. I'm not sure what's going on here, to be honest with you. Unless it was this item here, break, maybe they don't want you to use break in the HTML anymore. Again, I have to see more about that to really help. Hello, Cameron, is there a way to, so this is man cam here. Hello, Cameron, is there a way to track down a replacement order? I tried to find the purchase is related to, however, the order number is a new one. It's not like refund of the order details. I don't mind the replacement, but what I want to do is find out what did they do with the original item. I tried Amazon form, help, no help found. So if a replacement order is given, you can see that in your manage order categories, and it's going to have a different type of order ID. So you can take a look at that. As far as what they did with your item, they couldn't have thrown it away depending on your settings in the back end of your Seller Central. 2, they could have taken it back in to, if it was Amazon's fault, they could have taken it back in, inspected it, and then sold it underneath your listing as an Amazon warehouse deal, which they do often. And then 3, if you have the setting back there, they can send it home to you. You can go into your reports to figure out what's going on in these returns too. So go to return reports. Oscar Guevara Leon. Hey, again, do you create your own products or do you actually just private label existing products? So it's actually both. So this is kind of a question that I can answer yes to both too, because they're kind of the same thing. So I create my own products, my own brand name based on existing private label products out there, or just products in general. They don't have to be they don't have to be private label. So I private label unique products that I see holes in the market for, then make my own improvements to add value to target a specific niche, and then put my own brand private label on it. So brand, private label, think of the same thing there. And then I sell that on Amazon. Melissa Short asks, created a PL product, going to do brand approval, have a custom package made, but can't afford to buy enough for each product. I will send in proof of brand name to see on the box and product photo, but if that is approved, does each item I send to Amazon FBA need to be sent in a custom package too? Can I attach a sticker on the package after brand approval? Yes, you can get away with this. You can't do this, or you can do this if you get brand approval. You will need packaging to get that brand approval, but they don't check things in the warehouse very often, so you'd be okay getting through that. Again, you're in a gray area, so do it at your own risk, but I'd be comfortable doing that for my first few orders here. Nash Ortiz Lewis. Hi, Cameron. I'm trying to update my Seller Central account from an individual to LLC. My LLC is registered in Wyoming. It is a single member LLC. I'm confused about the tax interview portion. Should I choose individual instead of business? It seems I need to keep my own personal information, but when I choose business, do not know which C Corp or S Corp. Please let me know. Yes, my whole my Seller Central video on Amazon or on YouTube will tell you about this, but essentially, if you're a single member LLC, you need to select individual here. You'll eventually go through here because they see you as a single member LLC just because they said it right here. Individual includes sole proprietors or single member LLCs are individuals. You'll have a place to put in your EIN number after they get your personal information. Jessica O'Keefe. Hi, I'm trying to create a listing and getting an error message when I'm adding my G10. My G10 from GS1 is 12 digits and saying it needs to be 14 digits. Is this proof of relation between brand and G10 owner? If so, what does it mean? How to fix it? What I would try to do is just switch this over to the UPC and get the UPC and try that instead. You could be just switching UPC and G10 as well. So when you get a GS1 barcode, you get the G10 and a UPC. You can use either one. I'd switch to the UPC to see if that works there. Hunan Khan. Hello, if someone is doing PL of bed sheets, curtains, or a similar product, how do you put your branding logo work on your product? It's compulsory to put branding on your product. Looking to sign up for brand registry program. Yeah, so something like this, you can put a little print. They don't like tags, but you can put a little print on somewhere in the corner of your product, or you can get custom packaging with it printed on the box there, or the, whatever it is. They just don't want stickers or anything like that, so you'll need to do that. And I recommend, yes, do everything to get brand registered. All right, so we got Oscar here. Hi, Cameron. I've heard that in last bullet point is recommend to write about 100% money back guarantee. Do you recommend to say something like this? Yes, this is good. Everybody's doing this now, so it's not as powerful anymore, but you can do this. If you have another benefit you want to highlight in a bullet, I'd rather do that. Do you think it's better to include that they can return the item so people don't buy and just get the money? You can mention the 100% money back guarantee thing because it's true with Amazon. So, but I'd highlight a different benefit if it's really important to that customer type. Usama Khan, I tried making a generic listing, but I keep getting error 22005. I don't know what this is. I didn't need more details of what that is with verbiage from Amazon. Once I make the payment to send the goods, how can I know, this is Oscar Leon. Once I make the payment to send the goods, how can I know the Amazon warehouse details so I can get it to manufacturer? Is that in shipping plan? Yes, that's all in the shipping plan for you. Graham Hodder. Hey, Cameron, my freight forwarder has told me my order has been scheduled to go under intensive examination with customs. Well, first of all, I'm sorry to hear that, Graham, because that sucks. Have you dealt with anything like this before importing from China? Should I be worried? We've gotten products stuck in customs before, but it's been just like random inspections. I would see what's going on here. Maybe your freight forwarder didn't mark the proper HS code or the proper billing amount. So the proper tariffs didn't get paid. That's why it's so important to find a great freight forwarder who isn't going to try to cheat the system and get you in trouble like this. So I need more details for this as well, but I'd work with your freight forwarder as much as possible to get that resolved. Oscar Leon, not really Amazon FBA related question, but who edits your YouTube videos? Any recommendations? So I've gone through many YouTube editors. I currently have one I've been working with for a year plus, and I found them in Upwork. So Upwork is a great place to find YouTube editors for your videos. Francisca Ardette. Hey, Cameron, I want to start an LLC in Wyoming, but I wanted to avoid the $25,000 penalty by the IRS or any penalties, if are any. Which are the forms to file each year and taxes to pay every year? I contacted Buffalo Agency, but they're only responsible for forming the LLC and for a registered agent, but they don't give information about taxes. This is the reason why I haven't opened it yet. Even if I want to start e-commerce as soon as possible, which steps for taxes should I follow after opening the LLC one by one? So when you have an LLC, like the registered agent is just responsible for filing your LLC and make sure they have it on auto renewal every year. So they pay those fees to keep your LLC going. Now taxes, okay, so depending on the country you live in, so say you live in the US, and I'm not a tax advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an accountant or anything like that, so this isn't real advice at all. So eventually I'll say that you probably need to go talk to someone, excuse me there, but you need to file every year federally and state. So whatever state you're living in, doesn't matter you got an LLC in Wyoming, you got this because the privacy laws and it's really easy to set up and it's cheap, okay? What state you live in, you're going to have to file state income tax as well as federal income tax, okay? Just like any business, all right? As well as you are responsible for sales state tax for the states you're selling in Amazon. Now, Amazon does most of this for you, okay? And you really don't have to worry about this till you start doing like a good amount of volume. but Amazon takes sales tax for most of the states out there. You can easily search on Google and on Seller Central what states they don't do this for, and you'll need to file sales taxes for those states. Okay. And then Amazon will give you the reports of how much revenue you sold in each state, and you could file there when it comes to that. Again, TaxJar is a good place for sales tax. Again, I don't worry about this till I'm doing a good amount of volume, and Amazon's made this easier because they do this for most people anyways now. And then I would talk, if you're confused still, go hire someone. Just do it for you. That way you have someone that's liable for it. And Bond, hey Cameron, just got approved for brand registry. Congrats. And how do I add the A+ content in Seller Central? So you'll go to, it's either on brands or it's under advertising, and there'll be a button for A+ content. I went to the A+ content manager. Okay, great. It's supposed to be a button in the upper right corner, create A+ content. Unfortunately, I don't see anything to upload the content. Thank you for your help. Yeah, I need to see what you're looking at, and when it comes to that. But you should be able to do this pretty easily. Maybe you just got approved and it's not open yet. Sometimes it takes a little time to get that open, but you should be able to select your ASIN, and then you'll have some essentially templates to work off of, and then add certain templates and everything like that. Chris Icon, I'm selling an electronics product, and recently a few of the competitors have disappeared. The margins were thin, and either they quit or it could be getting IP or compliance issue. I do see some brands that are selling other similar products but have stopped selling the niche. Any thoughts on how to find out what the issue is, especially if it could be IP? Yeah, I mean, if you could check for patents, you could check for certain wording and trademarks that you could be infringing on as well. Don't be copying competitors' photos, listings, things like that either. Make sure that it's original to yourself. But yeah, there's really no way to know this for sure. Besides time will tell, you know. Melissa Short, make sure you guys can see that. Okay, yep, you guys can see that. If my grocery application was rejected 2x, should I keep replying or close the case and start over? Definitely close the case and start over. It's a legit invoice from Frontier. It has around 20 pics are provided. The name and address are exact. Decline reason, first time pics were good enough. Submitted new ones. Decline second time, you're not eligible to sell in grocery food products. We evaluated the information you provided, but it did not pass. I've been selling a month, an account on Amazon went negative total due to shipping an FBA box. I don't know if that's why I couldn't find where to make a payment. Yeah, so younger accounts with strikes on it are less likely to get approved for things. So this could be an issue. Should I reapply or close the case and order a new product and waste money trying a new application? So that's a good question. I'm not sure if this product, like, it depends how good the product is and how much you invested into it. There are videos out there, and I don't make these very often because I don't do a lot of ungating, but there are services out there. There are videos out there to how to get essentially little hacks to get ungated for certain categories, and people who know what Amazon's looking for. So, because if you're doing something wrong, they're not going to tell you what you're doing wrong. They're just going to tell you no. So you have to figure out what exactly they're looking for and then give them what they want. Okay. So maybe you order a different food product that is easily to get grocery and gourmet foods open, and then list your other product. So maybe you look around for some services that do this for you, or just further educate yourself with videos from other people. All right, guys, let's take a look at some comments here. Okay, let's take a look here. Went full screen on the guy. Cool. There's one question from Sanam. Would you say there are downsides to using your competitor suppliers? Yes, because how are you going to create different variations? I would try to find a unique supplier for yourself, unless your competitors are just like, their quality is so high that you just want to match it. In some cases, that's okay. In some cases, that's a red flag. Cool, guys. Did you guys enjoy this? Let me know. Please give me a thumbs up here in the comments, the live comment section. That really helps me out. Let me know I'm doing a good job for my ego there and to keep doing these. Otherwise, guys, I hope you have a great day. Get inside the Facebook group. Again, in the description down below, there's a link. But yeah, guys, good live, and we'll see you on the next.